Okay, so I'm kind of on a roll now and I'm enjoying these discussions, so I'm gonna hit you guys with another one. Boom. Ultra Fusion Warriors. Ultra Fusion Warriors? Ultra Fusion Warriors. Pretty much every anniversary, every festival, we're almost accustomed to getting a Fusion Warrior. Whether it be Vegito, whether it be Gogeta, whether it be Gogeta, whether it be Vegito. We're gonna get an Ultra Fusion Unit and we're almost expecting it every single year now. I'm sure the developers know, and we also know, that the Fusion Warriors are just the biggest money grabbers. And without including any other factors, I feel that's a very big reason, if I was the devs, to drop a Fusion Warrior every anniversary and every festival. I mean, think about it. If it was you and you could just get a quick couple millions in your pocket, I think you would drop a Fusion Warrior too. So for the guys that are already in the comments talking about
Fusion Warriors every anniversary are boring, Fusion Warriors every festival is boring, they need to do something different,
enjoy the Legends Limiteds, man. Not everything's about Ultras now, but Ultras are pretty much taking over the game. But you should also accept the reality that they are going to be the biggest money grabbers because they are the most hyped thing in Dragon Ball. Undeniably, they are a fusion of the main character and the deuteragonist in Dragon Ball, Goku and Vegeta. It's undeniable how much hype they pull to the series. But in this video here, I wanted to address a problem that could be seen with them dropping every single anniversary and festival, but not just the fact that they drop, but how the whole Fusion Warrior tag is handled. If you guys don't know, I'm a big Fusion Warrior main, so I actually gone ahead and Z-plussed all my equipments for the Fusion Warrior team that I have, and every single Fusion Warrior that drops, I go ahead and 14-star them to make my team as elite as possible. But even with me doing that, I find that my Fusion Warrior team, it's not that it can compete, but it's not one of the best options, even though every time a Fusion Warrior drops, that unit is most likely going to be top 1 in the game. So the big question would be, why is that the case? Why is it that I can 14-star Fusion Warrior Ultras, but they still can't compete with the meta right now where we have Gold Frieza, Cell in the way, Ultra Vegito Blue's there, but he's like a one-man army and he's being countered by a lot of units. Let's talk about them. Super Saiyan Goku, Gold Frieza again, Android 17, and that extra option on the future team, Sword of Hope Trunks, and you could even sprinkle in Zamasu. There's a lot of blues just being used, so Ultra Vegito Blue is unable to get his shine, even though he's still a top 3 unit in the game, which I feel most people can agree with. It just goes to show how much they pack into these Fusion Ultras, but they don't give them anything else, and that's what I want to talk about in this video. Now, given I just said all of that, it's gonna sound kind of crazy when I'm asking for more or explaining the fact that Fusion Warriors need a bit more. I don't know if this is a good video to make, I know. But hear me out, hear me out.
Let him cook! Let him cook now!
So I'm gonna use the last 2 Fusion Warriors that we've got in the game, and I'm gonna use the speculation or agenda of Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta coming in the next festival, which would be in November through to December. Now, the last 2 Fusion Warriors that we got, at least the big ones, Ultra Vegito Blue, who was the 5th anniversary Ultra who released, easily a top 1 unit on his release. Everybody loved him.
I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
Everybody saw the reveal was the best reveal that they've ever done. They went overboard with it, honestly, but not overboard to the point it was rubbish. It was really, really good. Zamasu fans, stay with me. You're still coping. You're still coping. And in the festival last year, we got Ultra Gogeta Blue, who was also another phenomenal unit who gave his Mudadana strike counter, is very, very useful. In a similar way, UVB has his counter, but UGB's was just really annoying at the time because if you use a blast card, it's just not doing anything. It's not. And even if you don't have his counter up, he can still fill his gauge, which will also break your combo because he removes your strike cards. It's very problematic. Anyways, one big thing that these 2 units share in common is that when they drop, they did not get anything else to help them. So when Ultra Gogeta Blue dropped, he was actually just fending for himself. Ultra Super Vegito, the previous Fusion Warrior, had already been power crept, so with that being the case, the team was basically fighting for its life. Ultra Gogeta Blue could be the best unit in the game, but if there's no other units on the team, other teams as a whole are just better comprised. Same thing with Ultra Vegito Blue. Ultra Vegito Blue drop, he is a one-man army unit, but he doesn't have anything else to really cover him, so you don't see people really running him on Fusion Warriors. In my case, I have a 14-star Fusion Warrior team, and I still don't use Fusion Warrior over Future because Future is just way more reliable, and that's just objectively true. Future has Sword of Hope Trunks, who's an endurance unit, and when his gauge fills, he's able to break your combo, which is a very big deal. They also have the new Cell, who would actually cause you big inconveniences with his AoE damage, but on top of that, he's just inconvenient in so many other ways, and he does a lot of damage himself. If you don't have Sword of Hope Trunks, Future also has Zamasu. Let's also not ignore Ultra Goku Black Rose. He's a very good unit to counter the mass amount of blues in the meta, and with his long combos that he could produce if the enemy keeps switching, and the fact that he has 3 ultimates, he could also build up and do a lot of damage. So you could already see Future has way more better options and team chemistry as a whole, whereas Fusion Warriors, I could point out a lot of options, but a lot of them have already been power crept, and even with that, there's only 1 or 2. Now, a big point that I like to bring up when I mention a lot of units, and I'm going to use Super Saiyan 3 as an example of this, the developers, when creating units, and Toshi has said this himself, they try to make the units as similar to the anime as possible. They don't always follow it bit by bit, but there'll be something in the kit that makes it very recognizable to the anime. The reason I'm mentioning this, and I'm going to use Super Saiyan 3 as an example, everybody pretty much knows Super Saiyan 3 is a quick surge of power, but it doesn't last for very long. So with that being the case, we see a lot of Super Saiyan 3 units in the game that are like burst units. They do a lot of damage early game, but late game they might not. That's the Super Saiyan 3 trait. In some cases, they might do something else that follows along the lines of the anime. For example, Boo Bros, they have the prep time gauge so that you can get the legendary finish. Moving on, going back to Ultra Gogeta Blue as an example, he is a one-man army unit. Everybody pretty much here, I'm sure you watched the Broly movie. Ultra Gogeta Blue in general in the Broly movie, he was able to just demolish Broly. He was toying with him. When Gogeta Blue went to blue, there was nothing Broly could do, and he was the one to close out the movie. With that being the case, he's going to be a one-man army unit, and you can see in his kit they very much focused it so that his counter can be like his key gimmick for his kit. That's natural because, like I said, in most cases, almost all cases, the devs very much focus on making the unit similar to the anime. Let's take Ultra Vegito Blue. Of course, they just gave him some silly stuff like Vanish Reduction, which is just too OP, but if you look at his counter, it's a complete replica of how he actually clashed with Zamasu, which is one of the biggest gimmicks of his kit. So you can see they somehow, some way copied the whole gimmick that was shown in the anime, on top of other things in his animations that I'm not going to get into. Just using those two as examples, Fusion Warriors, because they use the main character and the deuterocanist, so Goku and Vegeta, they will always be one-man army solo type units. But with that also being the case, you can see Fusion Warrior never really eats off it, because they're not going to seriously drop a Fusion Warrior support unit. In some cases they might, where they drop free-to-plays, I guess, but really and truly you shouldn't expect that, because Goku and Vegeta fusing literally make the strongest warrior on earth. So if we're being realistic about it, Fusion Warrior won't really get a good team. They will just get a one-man army unit twice a year. And I think the sad part is that it's guaranteed twice a year, but the team still can't get revived. And then there's also the other sad part about it. We don't get any other units to be the biggest thing for the celebrations because we're gonna get a Fusion Warrior twice a year. So if I was gonna wrap up this video, what solution would I provide? Well, if I'm being honest, even a character like Gotenks, who's a fusion unit, even he is a one-man army solo unit.
Fucking hell, man. I'm finished.
According to the anime, the way he was fighting Boo, he was the one Piccolo was relying on. So if we're being honest, I don't see Fusion Warriors getting a support unit. But if Fusion Warriors wants to be a good team, that's literally what they need, as every single team in the game that is meta relevant has that. I already dived into Future and how they have Sword of Hulk Trunks as a unit that can be relied on for the defensive end with his gauge filling, breaking the enemy's combo, and his endurance. If we look at any team with Gold Frieza, specifically Universe Rep, they already have 17 who does a lot on the defensive end, but Gold Frieza also has anti-rush, which is a big thing. Even the likes of a team like Regeneration has endurance with Ultra Kid Buu, regeneration factors in terms of health, hella Zenkai buffs. It's all about the structure of the team and not just an individual unit. Yes, that unit can carry a whole team, but once the power creep kicks in, the team's gonna fade into dust very fast. And that's just the sad reality of it. So yeah, in conclusion, just give Fusion Warriors a support unit and make that support unit pretty good. That way the team could actually function. But outside of that, I don't see that really ever happening because Fusion Warriors are meant to be one-man army solo units according to the anime. I think I'm just gonna add to the end of the video, would it be nice if we got something else that isn't a Fusion Warrior for the anniversary of festival? Of course. I also don't think there are many units in the series that are Fusion Warrior caliber-esque units. If I was to name a couple off the top of my head, I would put Super Saiyan Goku up there, but they dropped one recently, so I'm just gonna brush that. I would also put Super Saiyan 2 Gohan on that list to actually carry a whole celebration. I think that's very reasonable. But I'd definitely put MUI Goku on that list. If they dropped the Ultra of him, the game would literally break, in my opinion. But outside of those threes off the top of my head, for sure, and I feel like if they're not on the top of my head, they just wouldn't be Fusion Warrior caliber. Anyways, be sure to definitely leave your opinion on this in the comment section below. I just wanted to express my thoughts because it's my favorite team, and Fusion Warriors are just the most hyped thing, and that's just objectively true. Of course, because we've been getting it so repetitively, people want something different, but undeniably they bring the most money in, and they're going to be the most hyped thing to come out of the franchise. Appreciate you guys for watching the video. Press the subscribe button, man. My name is Zakashi, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man.